Hello lovely, my name is Frankie. Welcome to my channel if you're new here and welcome back if you've been here before. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to transform this into this. So what I'm going to show you today is how to cut a long wolf/shag cut. So that's on long hair, and it's also kind of a longer, slightly softer version. If you want to kind of keep the length around the front, not have your layers too short, definitely have some short layers, but just nothing too short. This is the video for you. Stay tuned and we'll get straight into it now. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so through the front here, you can see that I've started with a triangle section. From that triangle section, we've got a horseshoe section joining at the back, like you can see here. Make sure you put all of the sectioning pattern in before you start. Now we are going to drop the front triangle section and clip the two sides out of the way to keep it neat. Once that's done, we are going to comb all of that front section forward and separate our guide section. The guide section needs to be no wider than 1 inch. We are going to cut this section first and it will act as a guide for the rest of the triangle section. Now that we have that guide section, we are going to start combing the hair in the direction that we want it to sit. You can see I'm combing the hair up away from the head at a 45-degree angle. This is going to create those soft face framing layers. I've used my pre-existing fringe as a guide here for where I want the layers to start, so you can see that the long ends is where I'm going to start point cutting the hair. I recommend going through and checking each section twice to make sure you haven't missed your guide. If you wanted your layers shorter or your hair is shorter in general, then you will follow the same sectioning and elevation of the hair, you'll just cut the hair shorter. Once you're happy with your guide, we are going to split that front section with a centre parting, so imagine half of your guide is sitting on each side of the parting. From the central point where the triangle meets, we are going to pivot towards the ear to cut in the rest of the layers. With this next section we are elevating it exactly the same and cutting the hair from long to short. Here you can see I'm going through again and correcting my elevation and recutting the hair. Now we go in again and pivot again to create our next section. Using the same elevation and technique, you can see I've just found my guide and I'm cutting the hair from long to short to meet it. Now we are taking the remainder of that section and adding it to what we've previously cut. We are elevating the hair exactly the same and cutting to meet our guide. Now we go through and do exactly the same on the other side of the centre parting, so feel free to pause the video here whilst you go through the other side. Once you're done on that side, put your hair back in the centre parting and check the balance of your layers. Do this by picking 2 bits of hair from each side at the same point and sliding your fingers down the hair to make sure they meet at the end. If they don't meet, then go through the longer side again and try adjusting your elevation and finger position to see if you lost your original guide. Now we've done the front section, we are going to remove both clips from below the horseshoe. Start to comb the hair down and take a slight diagonal section towards the face to create your next section. I find it easier to separate the hair from the front to the back, so I flick it over my shoulder. You could also use a clip for this too. Now comb that section up and elevate it in exactly the same way that we were before. When you reach your guide, lower the hair and cut it to match the guide. I realised you probably couldn't see much here, so I've turned around so you can see my position better. Once you're happy with that section, you're going to take another slight diagonal forward to give you the next section that needs cutting. Again, elevate and cut in exactly the same way we have been doing previously. Continue with the diagonal forwards until you reach the centre of the back of your head, and then repeat the whole process on the other side. Now is the time to pause the video whilst you cut the other side. Once you've done the cutting, you're going to comb your hair down again and use the same cross-checking technique to make sure the haircut and layers are balanced each side. Now we are going to use a radial section which goes from the crown to the top of the ear. Clip the front sections out of the way to keep the sections neat and tidy. With the layers, we are going to start with a guide section through the back and elevate the hair. Once elevated, you're going to cut the hair from long to short. You can see I checked the length of the layer, and once happy with it, I go in with the pivoting sections again and cut the hair to meet the guide. These back sections are definitely the hardest on the arms, so take your time and take breaks if needed. Do this all the way round and then go on to the next section, the other side of your centre parting. Pause here if you are cutting along. Once that back section is done, you're going to clip the hair out of the way and we are going to add some layers through the top. Start by combing all the hair forward and creating an inch wide guide section in the middle. Comb each side of the guide down to keep the sections tidy and neat. We are going to elevate that guide section straight up from the head, and you can see I'm showing you now the guide from where I've lifted those layers at the back. We're going to point cut square along our fingers to meet that guide at the back. Once the guide is cut, put your hair back in a centre parting so equal amounts of your guide are on each side. Now we are going to separate the bottom from the top and clip it back so we don't cut all of our length off. Once that's done, we are going to take straight sections from the centre parting and elevate the hair in the same way, making a square shape with our fingers, and you're going to cut from long to short to meet your guide at the shortest point. Continue this sectioning until you reach your front hairline and then do exactly the same on the other side. Once that side is done, we're going to comb the hair down and check the balance of our hair using the techniques we followed earlier. Pinch at the root and glide down to the ends to make sure they meet. And we are done. Go and dry your hair in your favourite way and meet me in the next part of this video with the finished result. So that is how you cut a long, wavy, grown out, kind of shaggy, wolfy haircut. It's for long hair. My hair is also really quite thick, so don't be scared of this video this little DIY video, if you have thick hair as well, you can do it too. You can see from some of that footage, I'm like struggling to hold my hair up because it is so heavy. And I've got to say, one thing that I'm absolutely, probably the thing that I'm loving the most about this haircut so far is that my hair feels so light. I can't remember the last time it felt this light, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Don't forget if you're not to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up and turn the notifications on so that you can catch up with my regular videos. I will see you next week, and lots of love. Bye.